Left alone with him. Connor, are you there? Or are you just weirded out by me fearing morality? Oh no!
I think my internet just crapped out for a second.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. It's fine. You just heard me talking about how terrified I am of being alone with small children because I'm certain that they'll die.
Yeah. Oh my god!
And it won't be any fault of my own, but like the rest of my life, those parents are going to think it was me. You know what I mean? Anyway, I am recording now. That will be cut out, obviously. Okay. Hey, Connor. Hey, Althea. You have stepped onto this platform. Below you there is nothingness. It's like darkness, but less inviting. You can see a globe with Walharn showing on it, but it is far, far below you. When you look at your companions, they don't seem to respond like they are all there. It seems more like you are looking at terrible actors portraying your companions in the background of a play. They aren't responding to anything that you say, and at times you can see them moving and their expressions slowly beginning to change, but you don't hear them saying anything. And then you look around you and you see that there are 4 staircases, but only one of them seems solid. The rest seem to be almost tricks of light. But you do see a way up. Your staircase is solid. Looking around, you see that the rest of them have all sort of walked to one of the staircases, and Merahim immediately starts to hurry up his flight over there. You see Akka walk over to you, and he sort of puts his arms around you. But when he does, you feel a recognition in your mind that it's like you're getting a hug. It's like someone is trying to lift you. But you don't feel that physical sensation. And his arms just pass through you. Slowly you watch Akka turn around and begin to march up his own stairs.
I look to everyone walking away. I make eye contact with Marcus and just give a nod.
He shows no recognition of that.
I guess I'm gonna put my hair up, fully into a ponytail at this point, and like get my game face on, and just like set the like a determined look on my face and start walking up the steps.
Sure. And you begin to move. You have control of your token here.
Going to just quickly do my storm mantle, which gives me a +2 to my AC, and my so my AC is at 19. Just because I'm a little nervous.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah. You begin to climb. And as you do, you start to feel the air around you growing colder. The stairs are going higher and higher. And you notice there are portions where it seems like the stairs aren't there ahead of you. Like there's just a gap, 4 or 5 steps missing. But once you reach that point, you see stairs there. Whether you cautiously test it or you just step, it is there, and you're able to climb. But there are just moments where it seems like something's, spotty. Um, on your left, you start to see graves just floating in the nothingness. Gravestones, funeral cairns, pyres, and you recognize that these have been there for a long time. Not the pyres as long. They're recreations of something that you recognize as sort of a feeling of deja vu. You've seen a funeral pyre for this person before, even though you, Althea, don't know who that is. You see graves as you climb, but you also see moments of joy. You see young children. You see families being formed. You see good deeds being done by people who have once been helped by someone else doing good deeds. You see the creation of, a large house for a young couple. And you feel in your heart almost like it's nice for this to be happening because it's happened before and people need it. That's all on your left. On your right, when you decide to turn your head and look, you see what looks like almost infinite possibilities. And you see yourself, Althea. But it's not the Althea you see when you look in a mirror. It's an Althea who is physically about 70 years old. And you see all these different ways that you feel like your life could go out. You see you visiting the grave of your spouse. You see visiting the grave of your, quarter elf children. You see yourself as the leader of the Lion's Hope. You see yourself as the leader of the entire Hallandor spy network. You see yourself taking over the position of Minister of Laws and Writing, Julius Sextus's position. You see yourself rebelling against the Emperor. You see yourself rebelling against the Lion's Hope itself. You see retiring. You see dying young. You just see a grave of yours that's only a few years later, but with the wear and tear of a few centuries. And just as you begin to feel that you've seen too many ways that your life could reach a point much further down the road, you realize that you've stopped climbing and you're just walking forward into that dark nothingness. And it's colder now. Much, much colder. And you feel something brush against you. It's the branch of a fir tree. And you can't see anything, but you get the sense that you're in a forest. And it's dark, but you don't feel necessarily unsafe.
On my staff, I'm going to cast light.
Okay.
I could get a little bit of a better visual.
Yeah. What's the range of light?
Almost said it's a touch spell. No, you meant the radius for the light for it to actually go. It's a 20-foot radius of bright light and then another 20 feet of dim light. So 40-foot radius of light.
Okay. You realize that you're only really getting the bright light, which was 20 feet.
Okay.
But that does make it so that you can see a little bit better, which is always, good. And you find that you are in a coniferous forest. Giant fir trees mixed with more normal-sized ones. And as you move forward just a bit, you actually see ahead of you there is a purple light. And you see a tall, powerfully built man. He looks human in appearance. He's bald and he has a massive woodcutter's axe. And he is just taking down trees. And you see he takes down one, and then he turns and takes down a second with just 2 swings of the axe. He has a small lantern next to him, and it is glowing with a purplish flame.
It's a mighty powerful swing you have there.
What? Sorry. And you see he tightens his grip on the axe for a moment, but then he slides it into the loop of his belt. And you see he picks up his lantern and he looks out, and he pretty quickly clocks you with your staff of light. You have control of your token, by the way.
I'm gonna walk forward near him. I was just saying, quite a powerful swing. A whole tree in one go.
Oh,
That most can do.
thank you. That is just effort, hitting it at the right point. You are new here.
Yes. I'm actually not quite sure where here is. Can you enlighten me?
Yes, I can. He moves closer. The heat from his lamp reaches you, and it's very comforting. He sets it down, and he comes and sits on a stump that maybe he made. And he says, "You are in the mind of what the inhabitants here call the mistress, a giantess of the clouds, a lovely woman who saw the best in people."
Althea pauses for a second and just rubs her hands together like she's warming her hands by a fire and holding them out to the lamp, and thinks for a second. Is she only known as the mistress, or does she have any other names?
She has a name, but because of the intruder, we do not speak it. It lets him know where strong memories are, and he will come and feed on them. Make a perception check, please.
Oh my God, my hands are shaking. I'm so nervous about being alone.
Okay, so when you look at him, you notice something strange about his eyes. He does not have pupils. Instead, his large blue eyes, I don't know what the part that has the color is called. Is that the iris?
Yeah.
The iris is larger than it would be on a normal person's eye. And you see there are white clouds in them that are moving, like as if by the wind. But he looks down. He says, "We cannot speak it, which is difficult for most here. I will admit I'm shocked to see someone in this portion of her mind. This is the dark part. I would not be here myself, but this wood was necessary somewhere else. And so I found it."
Well, in my experience, I've come to find out that sometimes, in order for the light to survive, some people have to go into the dark. So maybe that's why I'm here.
Maybe. I hope that you are right, but I know that this portion is too dark for me to remain.
Before you go, this intruder, is there any way that I can help? I'm, if I do say so myself, quite a gifted mage. I've been known to handle myself pretty well.
I do not know. He is a powerful, malicious spirit. The only one who has faced him alone and lived to talk about it is me. And I will not be facing him again. I owe the mistress that much.
You said you've faced him and gotten away. Is there anything that you can suggest? Does he have any weaknesses? Any aversions? Anything I definitely shouldn't throw at him?
You should not use the magic of death. That will only embolden him. If you can put him to... If you have anything which can aid in forcing an enemy to sleep, I know that that is useful.
Thank you. One final question. Is the mistress gifted with an instrument? A stringed one?
No?
Oh.
But she was gifted in many other ways. She brought life and light wherever she went. She was not a force of destruction despite her size.
Thank you. Is there any direction you can point me in? Sorry, I know I just had one final question before you leave.
No, if you are going to help the mistress be rid of the Prince of Dragonflies, then you should have as much help as you can. I could not bear to see any more. North. If you travel north, you will find someone better suited to help you than I. And you will find a way forward out of the cold. At least for a time. Now, what is your name? I have met someone from outside. I wonder if you are one of his friends.
Oh, sorry, it was quite rude of me not to introduce myself. My name's Althea. And yours?
Harold.
Nice to meet you, Harold.
Nice to meet you as well, Althea. I pray that you are forgiving and he just reaches out, and when he does, you see both of the trees disappear that he had chopped down, and then you see him turning a doorknob, and then from the doorknob, this silver door springs up around it, and he opens it, and he passes through.
Whoa. Quite a cool spell. Now, which way is north? Is there a sun in the sky?
Nope. There is a moon in the sky, and there is a North Star. Not really. There isn't a North Star, but there is the fourth planet, whose name I will pull up, but it'll take me a moment.
I was about to say, wait, do I even know how to navigate?
Oh wait,
And I was like,
you're on the fourth planet. I forgot. Luden is the fourth planet. But I can tell you, north is this way. This way.
All right, I'll start heading that way. But I do want to inspect this tree stump. Like, does it seem like this? What kind of wood is this? Or like, does it seem like there's like some special property to this wood or something?
Sure. Do you touch it?
Yeah.
Okay. You reach down and you touch it, and
that.
no, just all around you, you start to see these spectral figures, and you see a woman, a giant woman. She looks Yornish. She has her hair in sort of a warrior's braid, but it's a little loose. She physically doesn't look that old, but you get the sense that she has lived a long life. And she is next to a very, very large pyre that is set basically like a stretcher, where the end portions of the stretcher are between two, or like on two hills. And then there is a massive, giant man's body burning. And she is next to it, weeping. The thing that she sort of seems to focus on are his open eyes. That's where she keeps looking.
If I take my hand off the stump, do I not see her anymore?
It's you take it off, and it seems like the memory just sort of ends when she kind of gathers herself.
Do I still see her though?
No, like it ends. It comes to an end, but not immediately when you take it off. It's more like something plays out.
Because I was wanting to take my hand off and like walk over.
Oh.
And like reassuringly try and place my hand on her shoulder, like comfortingly.
You don't get the sense that there's any interaction between the two of you.
Okay.
But you immediately recognize that you are touching basically a memory of where you are. This entire mind scape is basically centered on this person who you are trying to console.
Okay. I wonder if this is the mystery. Does she look familiar at all?
No.
No? Okay.
She was the size of the man who was large enough to fit that funeral pyre.
Okay. And you said a giant woman. Like, does she look like a giant, or is she just like...
She is
tall?
a giant.
She is a giant? Okay, so I probably couldn't even reach her shoulder. Cool.
You could reach like the lower portion of her shin.
And you said she doesn't look familiar, so she doesn't look like Desdemona.
She does not look like Desdemona. No.
Cool. I think I know what this is. I'll start heading this way. If I touch this tree when I walk by it, do I still see something, or does it have to be like the exposed?
No, you see something.
Yeah, I'm gonna walk to the north, but I'm gonna just like place a hand. I want to brush by a lot of the trees and things that I pass, because like if this is who I think it is, I want to know who I want to like who I'm gonna send off to the next life, so that maybe whenever I do what I need to do, there's something that I can say about the woman to like send her off.
Sure. Yeah, when you touch this first tree, you see her, and she is. You understand when you're looking at her that she has done something that giants can do, where she has shrunk herself down to like a human size. She's still like Goliath size. It's just she looks like a human who is just stretched into being a Goliath. And she is holding a human baby. And she is next to a man who looks like he would be from, like, Zishan. That's the part of the world that he would be from. And he is clearly in clothes that are similar to Zishan, but they look like really, really old-fashioned. Like, they look like the idea of what someone from Zishan would look like 1,000 years ago. That's sort of how he's dressed. And he is an old man. And you see that standing a little ways behind him, there is a young couple, and the woman in the couple looks very similar to him. But this older man is holding a baby and handing it over to her. And she takes it and she sort of just smiles really big. And then you see she starts to play like reverse peekaboo and cover the baby's eyes. And then like lift her hand up and make a face, and the baby laughs. And they just sort of play that for a bit, and then the memory kind of does its course. You touch another tree, and you can see that she is human size again, and she is helping a group of farmers with their crop. It seems like they are farming potatoes, and she is just really working, and you see she hands this kerchief over to one of the youngest farmers in the group so that he can keep the sweat on his forehead from like getting down into his eyes, because he keeps just blinking really hard. And then you see another one of the trees. You see her training a young woman. She is a elf, and she seems to be training her in how to not fire a bow, but how to quickly disassemble it. And so it's like they keep going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And then you see her basically just string the bow really quickly, the giantess, and she turns and she aims at a target and gets a perfect bullseye.
My kind of woman.
I mean, if you want, we can spend a few hours with me just playing out little stories, but...
No, you're good. Yeah, I just keep going forward. I do have a question, though. The one of the woman holding the baby.
Yeah.
The couple in the background have any resemblance to her? Like, did the woman in the background of the couple who resembled the man, did it resemble her as well?
No. Looked like the human man who was there, but did not look anything like her.
Okay.
Like, she looks Yornish, she looks, she's tall, she's got sort of narrow features.
Okay. I just want to make sure there wasn't like a human lineage to this woman that I could like need to go find or something.
No.
Just heading forward then.
Okay. And you make your way forward, and slowly the snowy, dirt-covered ground changes. Well, the dirt is the ground. I'm an idiot. But you find yourself walking on, like, limestone. And then there's this sort of natural path of dark, like, metamorphic rock. And then you start to hear rushing water, and you see that there is just floating ahead of you, like a reverse. There's no cliffs, but you see two waterfalls, and past the point that you would go through them, it seems like the world is like different. It's like a doorway. Would you like to go through, or would you like to go around? What would you like to do?
I'll go through the door.
Okay. You step through. I need to get your token. But you step through. There are these two waterfalls next to you that are lapping up in like these pools that seem to be self-draining. And then you see that there are these strange, like, they're shaped like geysers, but nothing's spewing out of them, and you can see just this red glow coming up from them, and they seem immediately hot just looking at them. You see, across from you there is a large terracotta teapot on top of an intricately carved table. Then there is a gate that goes into what looks like a low building. And then you see, tied up, hands behind his back, you actually see the old man that you saw holding the baby. And he is squirming.
I'm gonna rush up to him. And I'm gonna let him go.
Oh, look, thank you. Hey, thank you. Hello.
Are you okay?
You see, he's like rubbing his wrists. I'm fine. He's very thin, but he's not like gaunt. You see, he looks like he is a priest, but he looks like he's a priest to a forgotten religion, sort of. And he looks up at you. He has just these white mustache into a white goatee. White hair curls out from under his priestly cap. And he looks up at you and he says, "Thank you, thank you." "I'm alright, thank you. I ran afoul of a troll, if you can believe it."
Sorry to hear that.
Sort of thing happens quite often to me for some reason. Could you tell me, are you alive? He's still sitting on the ground and looking up at you.
I'm gonna like offer him my hand to like help him up and say, at the moment, I can't say 100% yes or no. I was before, but I'm not sure how I got here. Well, I mean, I walked into a ruin, and then all of a sudden I was teleported here. I don't know if that means that I'm alive or dead now.
Oh, he says as he takes your hand. And he is like, he's like early 70s. He is an older man. That certainly sounds like you're alive, then. Let me introduce myself. My name is Maskesh.
It's nice to meet you, Maskesh. My name's Althea.
Pleasure, Althea. I believe that you are alive, and if you are, that gives us a grand opportunity. We could save the mistress from Libellule. This would be advantageous, certainly.
Spell that for me.
Sorry?
Can you spell that for me? Libellule?
Yeah, I'll put it in the chat.
Alright.
It's French.
Libellule.
Libellule.
Oh, Libellule.
Yes, you just understand that I have a fake British accent. I'm Maskesh. What, don't mind me saying, are you of sound body? Do you need... Have you been hurt? I can heal you.
Oh, no, actually, I'm in tip-top shape at the moment.
Oh, very good. I have not been hurt, despite, and he lifts his wrists, a bit of rope burn, which is quite unpleasant, you know. I've never been fond of being tied up
You and I differ there.
Ah, the difference I shared with my wife. So, he seems embarrassed to have admitted that. He kind of steps past you. So, Althea,
Yes.
do you know, are you abreast to the situation, or are there...
If you're referring to the Prince of Dragonflies, as I have just been informed of, I think so.
Ah, that would be Libellule, a vengeful former demon, demoted to spirit. I have enough practice in faith, despite the fact that I cannot feel my God very strongly anymore. But I believe that he is a demon. No, I know that he was a demon. And he maintains a certain level of strength by feeding on the dead who have not passed on. And so he devours the mistress's memory, elements of her personality. I myself am a memory. One of the mistress's closest companions in her time alive.
I'm actually kind of kept abreast of that as well. I passed through a forest on my way here and wanted to get to know the person whose mind I'm in. And I saw a couple of you.
Oh.
She held you very highly, which I'm sure you know, since you are a part of her mind, and not necessarily as the actual spirit of the man. Anyway, that's getting a little confusing. Sorry.
No. I want you to feel like I am being completely forthright with you. So, I'm not him. He died. What year is it? Where you're from?
What year is it?
It is 666.
Oh shit. It is year 666.
Oh. What age?
I'm 23.
Sorry, no, I wouldn't ask that. That's very rude. Is it still the second age then?
Yeah?
It's the fourth age.
Oh. Sorry, Ben. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
No, it's the fourth age.
What? Oh, God! We've been here a very long time.
Yes, actually, it's actually the end of the world.
Oh,
Legends.
well,
Uh,
that's a bit reassuring then.
So, we'll find outside of here.
Right. Good to know. Good to know. But it's been a very long time since I have felt reassured that my friend and I were as close as I believed. But yes, the man who I am has been dead for millennia, as it turns out. Isn't that an upsetting thing to learn? Well, so I am the memory of Maskesh in my old age. I knew her for 60 years?
Wow.
Yes. And
Quite a time.
it was a lifetime. A lifetime that I was happy to share with her when we traveled together, and unfortunately, after a time, only when one of us could make the journey to see the other. That stopped when her husband died.
Is that whose pyre I saw her standing in front of?
Was it quite large? Between two hills?
Yes. It was, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
Then, yes, that would be Jacob. He was a good man. They were a good match. Right. Well, I will need to help you then, because I and things like me here, we do not have a chance to directly interfere. There is a door. A door that will take you to a section where the different ages of the mistress's mind intersect. I have been unable to find it. But if we can go as far as I am able to go, you might be able to reach a point where you can do something to help her shake off the invasion, or even fight Libellule, the Prince of Dragonflies. There.
I would be happy to do so.
Wonderful.
I've actually been... Someone actually sent me here. I think to help the mistress. I was sent to help them just send off the pop away what is left of her body up in my realm. My guide must have known there was more going on than just that surface level.
Well, that's good then. I'm glad that you're here. The riddle has reset. The way forward is shut.
God, another riddle.
There are two ways forward. You could try that, but I will be honest, my memory always gets foggy when I try to remember what... The mistress and I would play many games of riddles, but she was far better than I. And you see in common there is a riddle on the door.
What does it say?
A vessel have I that is round as a pear, moist in the middle, surrounded with hair, and often it happens that water flows there. I will put it in the chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say, would you mind just posting that in there? A vessel have I that is hair, moist in the middle, surrounded with hair. The water flows there. A vessel. You said this is a terracotta teapot?
Yes.
Surrounded with hair, though. I don't know what that means. I don't know anything about teapots, other than that they hold tea. A vessel have I that is round as a pear, but pears aren't fully, I mean, they're rounded, but they're not a circle. I feel like this, Althea is actually muttering this to herself as she's trying to work it.
And Maskesh is just stroking his goatee and nodding, sound. perfectly reasonable. Everything that you're muttering.
Moist in the middle. Can I open the teapot?
Yeah, you can.
Is there something in it?
You see that it is empty.
I know with tea, you have to put water in, then you have to put in whatever herbs and spices you like, and then you have to heat it up. I'm gonna pick up the teapot. I'm gonna scoop it with water from the water thing. And I'm gonna walk over here because it's glowing.
Yeah,
almost
and you
too
look
hot.
in and you see lava bubbling.
I don't want to put it in the lava because I don't want to break. I look back at Meskesh. Is this thing like, if that's what to break right now, would that like cause a ripple effect for the rest of her mind? I mean, I just saw 2 trees get chopped down, and I'm assuming nothing happened because it was one of you memory people. It was Harold who chopped it down.
Oh, Harold's not a memory, but
He's not?
No, he's a spirit that inhabits the mistress's mind and has always been very helpful in aiding the rest of us, memories or portions of personality. And he starts to walk over to you.
I guess that makes sense because you said you guys can't interfere with.
No, we can't leave where we are. I have been in the mistress's older age for as long as I, and he puts his hand on his chest, have been Maskesh. But I think if it breaks, that simply cuts off the possibility of using it as the solution to pass through the door.
Hmm.
I don't know if the riddle in the teapot are connected necessarily.
Alright, well, I'm gonna just set it on one of the rocks then. Maybe that'll heat it up. Moist, that is round as a pear. Is this teapot in the shape of a pear?
Nope.
I love a pear. A completely circular shape.
But pears aren't completely circular.
Well, it's not completely circular, but it's similar. You know, sometimes something that you consider to be round is really more oblong.
I mean, that's true. Do I see any pears?
No, you don't. And he says, and anyway, you know, this, when we were traveling together, the most popular type of pear that one would eat was round. It was a Shuhon pear.
Shoot. Did it happen to have, like, fuzz on the outside, like a peach?
No.
Son of a biscuit.
You could go and read the, riddle again.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Okay. When you reach the door, make a investigation check.
Okay. God, this is not my strong suit. 14.
Okay, pretty good. You actually see that you see that on the entirety of the door, it's so big that focusing on Maskesh and then on the riddle, you didn't notice. But there is this large eye carved out. And where the pupil would be, you see there is a spot for like a small stone that might fit, and that is between the main lines of the riddle.
Like a stone.
You see that on the tops of the where the door meets the ceiling and then the floor, like there are carved like eyelashes.
The thing is a big eye. A vessel have eye that is round as that. Some would say that eyes are pear-shaped.
When you say eyes, the door begins to shake. And slowly it sinks down into the ground, and you notice tears welling at the bottom that stay in a puddle once the door is open.
Oh. Oh. We got it.
Oh, well, there you go. Can I say, I love your accent.
Why, thank you. I love yours.
Thank Same neck of the woods. Not really.
I do have. So, are you going to be coming with me, or are you going to be stuck here in this room?
Oh no, I'm free to go.
Oh.
Some days I feel like my mind is more here, and some days I feel like it isn't. And
Oh.
being tied up by a troll, I find that my mind has been on other things, and I'm very sorry for that.
Oh no, that's all right. Well, I guess we should get headed.
Oh, yes, we should. And then he stops moving,
Oh no.
like he is being held by something magical. You hear someone approaching, and they are humming a tune.
Is there anything that you can do? I'm gonna grab him in thunderstep.
He seems like he's bolted to the ground.
Oh no.
And
Oh,
you
no.
see, approaching, you see the gravedigger from before. And then he sees you, and he hurries over, and he says, "Oh, Althea!
Oh, I don't know anything's wrong.
Hello!"
Oh, actually, I think I would. Real quick, just pause question. Would it be... I don't think that this would be metagaming, but I want to make sure, when the guy said Prince of Dragonflies is the intruder, and I remember that this gravedigger man had dragonflies around him.
Yeah, perfectly reasonable.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna put on my fakest smile, like nothing's wrong. So, oh no, are you stuck here too?
Oh, no. I came to try and help you all get out. After you rushed in, the Tiefling man, he came barreling in after you, and then the Havoc man did as well, and I wanted to try to help you if I could, and I must be honest, I told you a bit of a lie. I'm not a human man. I am a spirit from Dazero.
Wow. I'm sorry to hear that you're a spirit.
Oh, it is not a bad thing, but I think that I am able to travel between what one of these personality pieces told me was the sections of the mind divided by age. I've come to try and help you.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I could use all the help I could get. My friend here was actually just about to help me as well.
Yes, but
no.
he is stuck in place. That is quite strange.
Do you think that there's anything that you could do to, like, help me get him out? I mean, if you're here to help.
I could certainly try. Here. And he moves around the table to right here. And you see he starts to, like, wiggle his fingers sort of near the shoulders. And he's moving them in, like, circles around each other. And he looks at you and he says, "You know, I have heard of this thing before. This type of place. It is the conflict between a spirit that is not passed on, a living mortal thing, and then a malicious force that is trying to invade it."
Oh, that sounds horrible.
A spirit I knew, she explained it to me. She says that the only way to keep the malicious spirit from getting what it wants is to make sure that anything that plays out, any memories, any fragments of the person whose mind and spirit you are inhabiting, you must make sure that it happens exactly as it was. Because the disruptions, the disability to move on, comes from the malicious spirit trying to change things. And he, like, stretches his fingers out like he's doing a magic trick. No. I'm sorry, I'm unable to help your friend.
Mm.
Do you have a message for Marcus?
Oh, at the moment, wait, are you able to get to the others? I tried to speak to them before, and
Yes, yes, I've already spoken to Merahim.
oh, um, how are you able? Like, I tried to talk to them in the like, I guess the waiting room, and none of us
Yes,
could speak to
I
each other.
like I said, I think my being a spirit, I'm able to sort of move between the barriers that exist here.
Ah,
So Merahim, he actually said something that was quite strange.
what did he say?
He told me that he did not believe that you would accept my help. That you would not expect the boons that I would be able to grant you.
Oh.
That he accepted as a curiosity. I told him I was not sure, and that I would offer it to you, but he seemed quite convinced. Said you were too stubborn.
Can I do an insight check to see if there's something that Merahim is trying to tell me through this?
You could do an insight check to see if there's a hidden message. That's the insight check that you would make, yeah.
19.
You don't get the sense that Merahim is trying to tell you anything. In fact, you feel like Merahim didn't say any of this.
That's what I assumed. That's why I was seeing if there was supposed to be a hidden message, because I immediately think this guy's always lying. I don't think this guy's ever going to tell us the truth. I do have a message for Marcus.
Oh, good.
Tell him this place is crazy, and I think it's just like our mission to... We're somewhere that we could have had a mission to. I'm trying to subliminally give a message saying, don't trust this guy. It's... Tell him...
You went on a mission, one of your first sort of away missions with Marcus and Akka. You actually met a thief from Dasero, which is where this guy sounds like he's from, who seemed really trustworthy and helpful at first, but then literally stabbed Akka in the back.
Yeah. I'm going to say, let him know it was like...
The mission in Gay Accuse.
Yes, tell Marcus that this is just like the mission in Gay Accuse. Oh my gosh, some of these places are really beautiful. And just all will be well, just like that one was.
Oh, very well. I will let him know. I apologize that I cannot help your friend. Would you like an ability that I can grant you?
My Uncle Merahim does know me pretty well.
Ah.
I am quite the stubborn one. I like to fix things on my own.
Quite a shame, quite a shame. Well, then I will be
Making my way. Goodbye. And
Why?
I would have been true to my word, he says as he opens a door and then flicks his wrist. And I need you to make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh no!
It's okay. You take 25 points of psychic damage as he steps slyly through the door.
25.
Yep, 25, as it just feels like something pierces both ways in your head, like a splitting migraine.
88 minus 25. What was that? 63?
Yep.
Okay.
And as soon as he disappears through the door, Maskesh starts walking again. Really, I mean, it's a lovely accent.
Oh, you were frozen that whole time.
Sorry?
Nothing. I could use some of that, help now.
Oh, of course. By Belal's grace. And he lifts his
Hi,
hand
Goop.
and then lowers his arm and then like drags it across his face. By Belal's grace. Can you, if you would like to know more about Belal, you can make a religion check. Make a religion saving throw against damnation.
Is that B-E-L-A-L? Belal?
It is spelled like this.
B-E-L apostrophe A-L. Cool. Yes, actually, I do want to make a religion check.
Wow, he perfectly heals you for 25 points of damage. Or 25 points of health. Yeah, okay, well, with religion, you actually remember a period when, you and Marcus went to the library together when you were, like 10? And he was telling you, this is interesting, Althea, let me tell you. And he basically pointed to the, it was like this book that was on the advancement of religion within the Zeshan Empire. And it's actually about how in the early Third Age, which is when you kind of gather as where Maskesh is really from, it's just that he's very old. Belal was the chief, like the patron deity of Zeshan. They had a pantheon that was much similar to the current imperial cult of Hallandor, and Belal was the equivalent of their like god of the sky and the god of light. And he is not worshipped anymore. Like he is, his worship has been adapted into much smaller religions, and direct worship of the god named Belal is illegal in most states, most nations.
Well, I think you don't happen to have like a pamphlet, do you? Like a little,
No, but I would be happy to tell you all about my god Belal. That's one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, while we're walking, I'm just gonna ask him about his god.
Yeah, he suddenly he seems to be like a much younger man while you're walking. Like not physically, but he's just more sprightly. And he's like kind of gushing about Belal. And when he's telling you about like something really impressive, he then like something from part of Belal's like myth cycle of he fought the great beast, the typhoon, and he's telling you about him wrangling with this massive snake-headed god and digging him down deep into the earth. He's like, and that reminds me, I fought a hydra once, and he goes off on like an old man story, basically.
Card's telling me about his Hydra story. I'm like, oh my gosh, I also have a Hydra story. We fought two at
You
once.
fought 2 hydras? Why, that must have been terrifying. I hate it when things come up out of the water.
Oh man, you have no idea. I almost died like 5 times.
Oh, well, that's how it is, but you know who could save you if you almost die? Well, that would be Belal. Twice when I almost died, he brought me back from the brink of death. Can you believe it? And he just kind of keeps talking to you like that. You walk down a... Oh, sorry.
I do want to like make sure that I'm retaining this information because I know that we're fighting against someone who's trying to make new gods, and also a new god themselves is trying to rise up and kill old gods, and maybe, just maybe, there's a chance that if someone remembers something from old, that there's a chance that we could.
Yeah, you definitely get the sense from that 17 religion check. Belal is way, way younger than Naya. Like, Naya is one of the original gods. Bilal is not even. Bilal probably wasn't even in the war that like fought against Naya.
Damn.
It's a long. There's a long timeline. Um, but you are walking for quite a time. I'm gonna actually stop the recording just because I want to make sure that it's safe. And for revolution, okay. You walk down a long, narrow hallway that's created by this sort of gate structure while he is telling you about his god. And then it starts to get cold, but not as cold. Not as desperately cold as it was when you were in the forest. And there is a sun in the sky, and you think that's probably part of it. And you realize that you are beneath the mountains. And it's actually, you're beneath the same mountains that you were sort of in the shadow of back in the real world. And you and Maskesh are walking towards, once you come out of this sort of tunnel, you are walking towards what looks like a long mead house that is common in both Yorn to the south and Amancia, the province that you are in, to the north. And Maskesh seems to recognize the structure. It seems like this is probably where he spends a good deal of his time in this old memory.
Would I notice that this one tree in the bottom left corner is the only dead one?
Yeah, you would.
I want to walk over and just gently put my hand on it.
Yeah. You see another ghostly memory. And what you see is, you see the giantess that you have been seeing, the mistress. You see her standing with 3 people in armor in front of her. And one of them slashes with his sword and takes out her left eye. Then you see one of them slash with her sword and take out her right eye. You see the last one walk up and dig an axe into her forehead. You watch the last memory of the mistress. You see that she was not fighting back. She was even... Seems like she had even shrunk when the knights found her to her human size.
You said knights. Do they have pauldrons?
No. I mean, well, they do have pauldrons because they're knights, but they don't have Lion's Hope pauldrons, if that's what you were wondering. They do have sigils.
Wondering.
They do have sigils. They have one of them on his shield, one of them on her tabard, and then the other one sort of hanging from a horse that's in the background that you can just identify as probably his. They have the head of a griffin. Well, so an eagle head. No, they have a griffin that is clutching 4 black arrows.
Do I recognize that?
Yes, that is another knightly order of Hallandor. That is the Griffin's Promise is their name.
And I'm... No, this is definitely a dumb question. Never mind. I don't want to ask it because I don't want to be stupid.
No, hold on. I'll pause the recording and you can ask. Zoom.
Althea, you like hold her hand on the trunk of the tree and like squeezes, like just balls up her other fist, and a tear slips out and says, I've always known Hallandor as a place of honor, place. that does the right thing, and more I'm finding that I've been living in rose-tinted glasses.
Hallandor?
Sorry.
What is Hallandor? I've heard the name before, but it's the Zeshan name for Seldimus.
Oh,
You can extrapolate just
yeah,
based on history. He is from a time before the
yeah.
Hallandor Empire.
It's the empire that currently is riding, is in charge. Well, it's not really in charge, but
Is rules over Amancia, where you're currently probably walking.
it's yeah, I've relayed that to him, and
Oh, that's quite a shock.
yeah. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, well, I'm sorry if your faith in your homeland is shaken.
No, there's nothing that you need to apologize for.
I know that I have been shocked by the actions of the Asadian Empire before, so I apologize.
It's okay.
The Asadian Empire is one of the previous names of the Zeshan Empire. That one's just for me. Okay. That's just a reference that later when I listen back to this, I'm going to be like, whoa! Yeah! Asadia, golden age of seafaring travel for the Zeshan Empire. Yeah! But you see the mead hall in the distance.
You should continue on.
Right? Of course. And he is happy to oblige you.
I'm gonna walk forward and just, like, right before I walk in, I'm gonna look over my shoulder at the tree again. Let one last tear fall, wipe it, and then step in.
You walk in and every single person turns and their eyes are on you. And then they all slowly lift their mugs of heavy mead that you can see. And they say, in different timings, they just go, "Aye, hello, oh, hail," that sort of thing. And a large woman, dark hair, pale skin, comes walking over. Greetings.
Hello.
Hello. Would you like a mead? That's our primary form of service here.
Sure. Thank you.
Of course. All drink free their first cup. She pours it, brings it over to you, and she looks at Maskesh and she says, "And that will be half a drachma from you." And he kind of smiles, and you see he pulls out a purple coin, but it is hexagonal. And you can see he is holding it with the head side up, and you see that it is much younger than you have been seeing, but it is the face of the giantess in profile. And he hands it over, and when he does, you see that he keeps half of it, so that it's like the portion with like her nose and then just empty space, and she has the rest, and she smiles and turns back and goes to fetch him some meat.
Well, what was that you just paid with?
It is a drachma. It's the currency here. It's essentially most of what we interact with here are items, things like that, are memories in and of themselves. We can only eat or drink something that the mistress ate or drank. We can only watch production that we did not create ourselves if it is something that the mistress saw. And so we had to create something. And while she was quite gracious, the mistress did have a touch of greed in her, as all living things do. And so we took that greed and we broke it down into a currency, and that's used to trade.
It's very interesting.
Of course, it's actually Harold's idea. But probably best not to speak about Harold here.
How come?
She is pouring up more mead. And she,
Well, I take a. Should we take a seat?
oh, yes. And she comes back and she stands on the table and she says, "All right. Now, the meeting of the lightning rods is back on. Now, I understand that you all believe that the breaking of the dam will only hurt us. But if we take our families and our children, and we leave the valley, and we break the dam when the giant returns, we will wash him away." And you hear all of them kind of whispering, like, I don't know if it's going to work. And then one of them over here pipes up, "If that is to be done, then someone will have to stay behind. Someone will have to be killed. We'll be dead." And Maskesh leans over and says, "This is exactly as it happened."
This. What are they talking about? The other giant in this land.
Yes. They live out this memory at the end of every month, essentially, and how time flows here. And he takes a drink. Complicated. And she stomps her foot on the table. "I have children. My son is expecting his first child soon. I cannot leave them. Are none of you brave enough to stay behind? To wash him away?" And this woman says, "We've already sent word to Seldamas in the south. They have people of courage who will arrive and put the giant down. They will see this done. We do not need to risk our own lives any further than we do by simply staying where he can find us." You see this man take a deep swig, and he says, "And besides, he would surely withstand the river. He would not be washed away."
I whisper to my new friend,
Maskesh.
Maskesh. Does no one stand up to say they will?
No. No one broke the dam. Every month they remain here and the mead hall is destroyed as they all run to the higher land that would ironically be safe from the dam. But none of us are able to change things. When a memory like this plays out. And then you hear a thunderous step to the south. And then you hear a scratching on the door. You hear a...
I'll get up and open it.
Yeah, there is a small fox who comes in and like wiggles through your legs.
Can I pick it up?
It gets up and it like licks you on the chin twice, and then like nuzzles in and it's like shaking, And before anything else happens, you hear this other boom, and everything in the meat hall shakes. Cups fall off of the tables. Run! And all of them start to stream past you. Go around. They all run. You see them heading for hills that will lead them up. You see one of them look to the north of the mead hall, but then he just keeps running. Mashkesh comes to you and says, he'll be here soon.
What happens if we stay and fight?
He is very strong. I doubt that we would be able to do much to him. I think he would wash away, but that would be it. And the fox, you see the fox jumps down, starts to run off, and it runs north.
What if I were to break them?
I don't know. That might work. And you see very, very tall trees start to break down. And you
Which
see...
way?
Huh?
Which way is the dam?
The dam is to the north.
Right.
And then you see the giant stepping closer to you. Now, I'm going to put the giant on the map, but you will just know that the giant is really like 400 feet away.
The giant herald.
The giant is Harold.
Oh.
And he is coming and he says, I have not been paid tribute in 3 months. I collect 15 die today. But he is far enough away that you don't think he can see that the mead hall is empty or see you.
Do I fight?
I'm with you. Whatever it is that you do.
I'm gonna 5th level Storm Sphere. Oh wait, no, he's a cloud giant. Would I know? Would lightning be effective against a cloud giant?
He is a storm giant, I believe.
Oh, I'm even thinking he's like. Oh wait, I would know from the story what kind of giant he was.
Yeah, he is a storm giant. The mistress is a cloud giant.
Oh. So lightning wouldn't even do well against him. I'm gonna have to.
What should we do?
Do you have anything that can bolster us away quickly?
Yes. Here. And he taps you on the back, and you feel like you can move twice as quickly, with only using a bonus action. He casts Expeditious Retreat on you.
As we're running, I'm gonna say, "What happened to him? He seemed," and I'm.
My memory is a bit fuzzy on it, but when he found out that the mistress had been killed, she never fought him when he arrived. She always told him that she believed that he could be redeemed in some way. When he found out that the knights had killed her, he came to them, and he shrunk down to his human size, and he knelt, and he let them cut off his head. And you continue to run.
Wait, so this night, Is this night before or after she died? I'm assuming it would have to be before if this is in her memories.
Oh, this is before, yes.
Oh, that was me asking you, Ben.
Oh, it's. I mean, you can intuit that it's probably before.
Okay.
So this is probably like straw that broke the camel's back arrival to the knights show up and just kill the first giant they see. Like this, Maskesh's body language and his discomfort at seeing Harold, what is now a friendly face, coming in like this, probably some bad stuff is going to happen today.
I'm going to quickly stop and turn around. Well, I'm going to stop and I'm going to think about something that my uncle said to me a couple days ago. And even though I still think he's wrong. I'm going to turn back and say, Harold, if you do this, they'll kill her. The woman who believes that you can be good, that you can be saved. This action is what brings her to die. And she doesn't fight.
Harold, how do you know my name? How do you know? Who are you? Spirit!
I am not a spirit.
Trick!
I am from the outside world.
What?
I met you not but how long has it been? Probably like 30 minutes.
It's been about an hour.
I met you not but an hour ago. In a forest much like this. I met the real you, well, a spirit of you. You are existing in her mind. She is trapped because of the way that she's killed.
You see, he walks to the dead tree, and he reaches down, and he tears it up out of the ground. I need you to make a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Does he find me attractive? Flip hair.
You know what? He does. Make it regular check.
This is a normal persuasion roll. 17.
He lifts the tree, and you see he's about to throw it. And then he does, but he holds it in his hand a bit longer, and it just crashes into the mead hall.
Did you see it? And I let the tears fall unabashed from my eyes again. Not faking them, just letting myself feel the sorrow that I remember from seeing that vision.
Giantess! You see, he was trying to say her name, but something prevented him from doing so. She is a coward. And I do not fear any of these little people. They are for tribute, nothing else.
Do you know what you did the next day?
Leave my sight, or I will kill you. And he starts making his way towards another village another building in the lowlands, towards it to collect.
Harold, stop. Please.
I am done listening to apparitions created to trick me.
I'm not an apparition, and I'm gonna cast, oh, that guy can cast magic too. I'm gonna cut myself with my dagger and show that I bleed. I don't know if anyone else here can bleed, but maybe it's something different. I don't know.
He
I'm just,
looks at you quizzically, and then he just moves on. And he makes it about 300 feet away from you in
Oh.
2 strides.
I was gonna say, if I sent him one of my D6s of healing, could it, like, heal his soul a little bit?
You see the fox from before appears through the line of trees and kind of like jumps looking at you and then runs back north.
I'm just gonna turn to Mikesh. Right, Mikesh?
Maskesh.
Mikesh. I thought maybe I could get through to him. Did the tree reappear?
The tree has not reappeared, no.
It is difficult, Althea, to convince someone not to do something that they are incapable of even imagining they cannot do. I sense that you've dulled the damage a bit for today, but tomorrow it will go back to the first of the month, and in 30 days he will return, and this will play out much the same way. But perhaps you could buy a moment's satisfaction for those watching up above. Perhaps you already did. I do not know.
Maybe.
And you see he has smashed another building off in the distance.
Just turn around and I'm half thinking to myself, kind of thinking that, I was right in my decision to. I don't know. I feel like she's probably struggling right now with the same argument that was had between her and Merahim 2 days ago.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm just going to head off towards the direction that the fox ran.
When you reach the fox, what you can see is the fox has run up to a massive dam. It's like 40 feet high, and you can hear water like rushing behind it. And it is tugging with its mouth on a flag that is sticking to what looks like a lock in a gear on one part of the wall. And then it sees you, and it hops while it's still holding it, and it like shakes its head. And Maskesh says, "I don't even know if this would work. This never happened. No one ever broke the dam."
I'm going to pick up the fox. Going to say, Maskesh, I thank you. You'll help. But actually, I'm going to tell the fox, thank you for leading me here. I know what I need to do. You should probably get to higher ground.
The fox.
I don't know if you understand me.
The fox just jumps down and nods, And
I'm gonna give it a stretch.
uh, make an Arcana check.
Again, not my strong suit. Thanks.
A 6 is actually high enough to tell that this fox is not like the memory of an animal, but this fox is a soul bond. And it runs off.
Ooh.
Maskesh steps up to you and says, "Tomorrow, if I die here, I will be reborn. Althea, I will stand beside you. I've
That's good.
walked with you this much of the way."
Thank you. That means a lot. Do you know what soul bonds are, Mescash?
I remember hearing things vaguely about them, but I'm sorry, my memory is spotty.
Do you know if the mistress had any animals that stayed near her often that she could call to?
I remember she had a starling that would come when she called it. A nice little, pretty feathered bird. But otherwise, no, I do not. I'm sorry.
I'm gonna look after the fox. I'm gonna smile and I'm gonna grab Miskesh's hand. Do you mind, like, just offer my hand out to him to hold it?
He takes it.
And I'm gonna walk up to the flag, still holding his hand.
Mhm.
I'm gonna pull it out.
Alright, and you pull it out, and the dam sort of just locks, like unlocks basically, and like slides open this entire section from this wall to this wall. And all of this just massive gush of water.
Does the, like, roof part stay there, and it's just the walls that open?
No, like the entirety of the like this section of the wall just like locks down and or like sort of just slides apart.
Okay.
And it all begins to just sort of rush out, and you feel unaffected by the water. But Maskesh, you see, is
Well, so is it like this whole top part is gone?
this whole middle section is gone.
Just the middle section?
Yeah, the sides are still there, but the water is quickly rushing out and will begin to flow that way. This is water.
We still have the expeditious retreat, right?
Yeah.
Because the reason I was having him hold my hand was because I was gonna try and thunderstep onto the top of the wall and then run.
Yeah, it's 40 feet up, so from where you are, that's possible. Yeah, it's 25 feet plus the 40, so a diagonal line, you could probably reach one of the sections that's still standing. You certainly could, rather.
I think my thunderstep allows me to go 90 feet.
Yeah, so you could do that. You could end up on top.
Yeah. But it does do 3d10 thunder damage.
Ah! He just covers his head.
Oh, not to him, but I think the structure would take that. I don't know if that would make the section of the wall that I was going for fall.
It crumbles a bit. Make a dexterity saving throw.
15.
Okay, a 15. Yeah, you managed to not fall off and take this old man with you. Two of you keep your footing, And you watch as just this deluge, this entire river basically is unleashed into this lowland, and you watch as it reaches Harold. It just sort of topples him over, and you see him rolling in this thick gush of water out. And you see up on the hills all of the humans, all the elves, just like standing and clapping and waving their hats in celebration. And the water beyond grows thin enough that you see there is a door forward.
Can you go with me through the door? Or do you have to stay here?
I can try. I think that I am near the end of my journey, but I am willing to go as far as I can manage with you, Althea.
I would appreciate it. The company is very welcome. You remind me of someone I know who is gone. Very kind.
Thank you. And I hope you don't mind me saying, but you remind me a bit of my daughter.
Althea feels tears coming and just kind of turns her head, lets a couple fall, and takes a deep breath and looks back and says, "Thank you."
He just gives you a smile and nods and says, "Of course." And as you move, he starts to speak a little bit more about his adventures to try to, like, get your mind off of whatever's making you sad again. And he says, "Can you believe I was actually a bit of a hotshot back in my day?"
It definitely can. And I walk towards the door.
Yeah, and you all can get down safely. He needs a little help from you to get down all the way.
Cool.
But then you make it through the door.
Right before we walk through, I want to turn to him and say, just in case you don't show up with me on the other side, I want to say thank you. Your support and your help and your kindness have meant a great deal to me. And I can't say thank you enough to actually show the amount of gratitude I feel.
Well, thank you. And I mean that very sincerely. You have made me feel hopeful for the first time in a while. I genuinely believe that once I say goodbye to you, not long after that, my dear friend will finally know peace yet again. And that is something that I will be extremely grateful for, Althea.
It's my pleasure. I love to bring the lion's hope that I Eldritch Blast 2 lionesses out of my hand just to run off in the distance.
They run on top of the water.
I also want you to know I'll never forget you.
I suspect wherever I go, wherever memories are, I will keep you with me. Now, are we going to go through the door? He says that in a way that's like really encouraging, more than... He's not like actually rushing you. He's just like, shall we? That's kind of his... You see a little bit of who he was when he was younger. Back when he was still very proper, but perhaps a little bit more gung-ho.
I flip my hair in a, I don't want to say flirty, and I'm definitely not doing it in a mean way, but like...
Playful.
Yeah, in a playful way, and I link my arm through his.
Yeah.
I think together.
Together. and you walk through the door. And you find that you open it into a arid, cracked, sort of rocky space. And in front of you there is a door between two large statue, sort of ogre heads, each of them with two eyes made of crystal, but you see that both of the eyes are focusing on you.
Ooh. And I'm assuming Maskesh is still with me.
Yeah, Maskesh comes through with you. I need you to make a perception check with advantage.
Ooh, okay. $18.
Okay, you see something strange on the ground. You see Marahim, tiny, about the size of a mouse. And you see that he is about to be gobbled up by a very large lizard.
I scoop him up.
You reach down to touch Marahim, and you feel like you can't interact with Marahim.
I'll grab the lizard.
Okay. You pick up the lizard, and for a moment you see that there is actually recognition in Marahim's face. You feel as if you have like 10 words that you could say to Marahim that he might pick up on.
Oh, shit.
That's the first
That's
two.
the first two.
I don't know what to say.
All right, and your time's up.
Oh god.
But then you see the door in front of you open, and then the door behind that, the door behind that, and the door behind that, the door behind that, and then there is a final door that for the moment remains open.
Do I still have the lizard in my hand?
You do still have the lizard in your hand. It's squirming.
Does this lizard also feel soul bondage?
No.
Alright, cool. Good to know. I'm gonna toss it to where it'll go between the two things.
Okay. It stands back up and runs away. Down this way, and then past you.
So I assume that means it might be safe.
Like, it stands up like one of them Jesus lizards.
It just runs with its arms out.
It's got really small arms.
And just to clarify, I did mean like I was like throwing it to where it would like be
Yeah.
in between.
No, I know
Okay.
what you meant. You were testing for like traps.
Yeah.
I get
I'm gonna take a step forward.
Maskesh goes with you.
Any reaction from the eyes?
They just follow you.
All right. I walk through. Is there anything? Do I notice anything about these statues?
You notice that you can see these green ones ahead, and you can see the red ones behind you. Their eyes are kind of dull. The blue eyes are glowing.
I think maybe I should have saved that lizard for now. Do I have anything in my pack that I could throw? I don't. Actually, can I like take a piece of jerky out of one of my rations and throw it?
Yeah.
Oh shit! I have Lil Red with me. I don't want to sacrifice Lil Red. Speaking of, while I'm thinking about it, I just want to check, how big has he gotten?
Little Red, he's about the size of,
Because he was Jay chilling in my bag, so...
Yeah, I think he is about the size of like a walnut now.
I'm gonna give him little belly rubs.
Mwah. He lightly mashes your finger between his fists.
Say, hey,
It's like playful.
we don't.
It's like a cat
Oh,
headbutt.
okay.
Can you make a perception
alright.
check with disadvantage this time?
Oh God. Okay. Probably because I'm looking down at my friggin' rock pet.
Your pet rock, yeah.
Oh yeah, I don't know why I said my rock pet.
He's from the 80s.
9.
Okay. Something massive bites you around your waist.
Ow.
You don't see it until some jaws release you. You take 16 points of piercing damage.
Damn.
And behind you, standing, is a massive cousin of the lizard that you threw away. It is a Tyrannosaurus Rex. What to you looks like a dragon with no wings and tiny front arms. Please roll initiative.
Son of a bitch.
He's a thunder lizard. Come on. 23. Nice. Nice.
A thunder lizard. That means none of my shit will work.
No, that's just what a dinosaur is. I'm sorry. That's,
It's like, son of a bitch.
that's not. He doesn't have like thunder powers.
Okay.
All right.
Oh.
Maskesh goes. Oh, sounds. Okay, you are first in the initiative, so you are let go by this T-Rex, who is like sort of hunched over.
All right. So well, that wasn't quite nice. And then I'm going to shart. I'm gonna shart my pants.
A reasonable reaction to seeing
no,
a T-Rex.
That hurt. I want to roar back at it and use lightning breath for my action.
Yeah, okay, cool. 17 dexterity save.
Oh, I think that. Oh no, I think that just passes. I think my dex is a 16. Yeah, son of a biscuit. Because 8 plus proficiency plus my thing, right? My spellcasting modifier. Yeah. Oh wait. Yeah. Yeah. Damn it. Well, my lightning breath is now. What did I roll for that the other night?
I do not remember.
Oh wait, I did put it in here. Never mind. I didn't put it on my bar thing yet, but I did put it in what my spell does. Where did it go? There it is. Oh, I didn't put what it did at higher levels. I think it was 3d6.
It scales behind the Dragonborn breath. Like it's not quite Dragonborn breath.
Yeah, I think what you sent me. I'm pretty sure the level that I'm at, I think it was 3d6 is what you said.
Sure, that sounds right.
Sorry, I'm trying to scroll up to it to find it. I did it the other night. I meant to transfer over the scale, the leveling up scale of it, but I did not.
That's okay. You can just roll the 3d6.
Yeah, it's 3d6 plus my spellcasting modifier, which is volume.
Which will then be halved. Okay, so 17 halved is 8. So Godzilla here, Godzilla 1999 here takes, because he's a thin boy, he's a T-Rex. He takes 8 points of damage.
I am going to use some sorcery points to quicken spell. You can spend 2 sorcery points to change the casting time to 1 bonus action, and I am going to cast Thunderstep again.
Okay, let's say that these happened in opposite order. To use
Wait, why?
to quicken spell it sucks because it doesn't really make sense for Quicken Spell. Like, Quicken Spell seems kind of nerfed, but you can only cast a lower level spell or cantrip after you cast a spell with your action. The only way that you can use a bonus action to cast reasonably is when you do that, or by our rules, health. I did not know this rule until very recently when it was explained to me.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you can't cast multiple spells in a turn unless the second one is using less time and is a lower level than the first one.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I was using...
So I'm just saying, let's say that the lightning breath, since that's a cantrip, you're doing that second with Quicken Spell. Even though Thunderstep, you would have to, just in terms of the action economy, for rules' sake, so that I don't get yelled at by everyone else in the game.
Cool. All right, then that one is another Constitution saving throw.
All right, by the big, powerful lizard man. That is a 16, which I believe will fail.
Sweet. And that is 3, it's just 3d10.
3d10, pretty good, though.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. And I'm casting it at 3rd level, correct? Yes. Boom, boom. 17.
Alrighty, 17 points of damage. Which puts him at, what is that? 111, make a wish.
And we go 90 feet away. This T-Rex can't fit through a door, right?
Well, we'll see, won't we?
Well, I'm gonna go, and I grab Muskesh with me.
Okay.
Here. Oh, actually,
Boop.
no, I'm gonna go here.
Ugh! He has that reaction to being brought here. And then the Trex for his turn is going to roar, and then is going to basically back up. Use 10 feet of his movement, and then is going to go, let's see, what is 40 divided by 5 is 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He just crashes through all of these and roars when he is done. And then he's going to basically dash 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Question.
Yep.
These blue lit up things, did they react when he ran through them?
No, they just did not follow him the way that they were following you. And when you get here, these black one's eyes, they are looking at you.
But they're not, are they lit up?
No. And when you get here, he stops. And Maskesh, for his turn, is going to use his special ability, and he is going to reposition you so that he is in front of the T-Rex.
No.
And he looks at you and he says, "If you need to fight Nibelul, Althea, go. If you must save your strength for Libelul. I will hold him off as best I can, and if he kills me, I'll be back tomorrow."
Thank you. And I'm gonna give him like just a soft kiss on the cheek of like familial kindness kind of kiss.
Yeah, he does not misinterpret it.
And I look him in the eyes and say again, I will never forget you. And please don't die to this thing.
I'll do my best. From what I remember, I was the one who killed it. And he gives you a smile.
Doesn't surprise me for a second. But I'm going to I don't have my storm mantle up any longer, right?
No, it would have fallen.
Then oh wait, it's storm mantle says it goes for 2 hours, and it was an hour
Okay,
when I.
then you're good.
Okay, cool.
So I still have my 19 AC. And right before I run through the door, I also want to use my. Actually, yeah, I'm gonna use a 3rd level spell to, actually. How many do you have to do to get a spell slot back?
It is, I think, twice the number of sorcery points as the spell's level. I think.
Twice.
I thought that was it. So, like, to
I
get a
thought-
3rd level spell back, you would have to use 6. I'm pretty sure.
I thought it was the number, like the spells level plus like 1 or something.
I am not sure.
But I'm looking it up because I want to. Before I say I'm gonna do something, I want to make sure that I can actually do it.
Sure.
So to get a 5th level spell, it would take 7 sorcery points, which is all that I have. But I already used 2, so I wouldn't be able to do that. Oh wait, no, I need a 4th level slot. Right? Where's the Althea page? I'm sorry. Even when we're not in a thing. Yeah. Oh, it's the spells level plus 2. Dang. All right. Well, then I guess I'll just use a 3rd. I'll use a 3rd level armor of Agathis, and then use my 5 remaining sorcery points to get to have 1 more 3rd level spell slot. So I bolstered myself, and then use my bonus action to pretend like I never used that spell in the first place.
Okay. And you step through into a blank void.
I probably should have healed myself.
And the door is still open, so you are able to look back at Maskesh and the T-Rex. If you choose to look, I can describe it, but if you don't, no worries. You can close the door. Just keep walking.
No, I'm gonna look.
Okay. You see him deftly get out of the way just in time of a snap of its jaw, and then he just slaps his hand down, and you see the T-Rex just writhe in pain, in agony, and then he starts to leap back, and then he just stays stuck in place. And you hear behind you, huh?
Maskesh or the T-Rex?
Maskesh. And you hear behind you, great showing. Sorry, no, French. Great showing. Wonderful. And the door does not shut, but you hear the noise of it shutting, almost. Signaling that you might not be able to go back through. And you find that you are standing in darkness, and on a bench next to you is Dalbert. That was fantastic. I knew that if I told you one truth and one lie, you would take the lie and run with it. Sorry, you would take the truth and run with it. What am I saying? Thank you very much for bringing down the dam. That was the last thing I needed to get this section of her mind completely under my control. Thank you. Well, you are uninterested in what I have to say, but perhaps Marcus would be more open. And then he snaps his fingers, and he is gone. And you look back as the door closes, and you see Maskesh being picked up by the T-Rex in its jaws. crunch is the last sound you hear.
I know I can't physically go through it.
The door shut before you were able to. You looked away from Dalbear.
Oh.
Like, you had a split second of seeing through it, and then it was shut.
Althea just... What? I'm gonna cast light on myself. I want to be the thing that glows in this space.
Yeah, sorry, I'm trying to cast it, but it's not working. Maybe it's because of the darkness. Oh, yep, that's why. So yeah, you cast it 15-foot radius around yourself. Oh, wait, hold on. Can I undo that? There we go! Ha! Learn something new about Roll20 every day. But you see, there is the bench that he was sitting on, and there is a door.
I don't know if this would change what I see, but it is a 20-foot radius.
You are just in basically a void of darkness. So you are standing on darkness. It just looks really weird as it reacts to your light.
You walk up to the other door.
Yeah, before you open it, you hear another door opening to your side. And Harold walks through.
Were you being controlled by him back then?
I was under my own control. My actions were my own. The evils that I committed were my choice and no one else's. And the mistress tried to stop it, and I did not listen. But I have listened now. I've traveled through the portions of the mind that are shaped by her. Seen her memories, as you can. As your friends have seen. I know about who she was and who loved her and who she loved. And she has changed me in death. I know the ballad that she danced to at her wedding. I know what her favorite part of her husband's face was. And while I have sworn an oath on her memory that I will not harm anything ever again, that does not mean that I cannot help you do so. And he reaches into his large coat. He pulls out an amulet. Well, not an amulet. He pulls out basically a leather cord with a pendant. And the pendant, you see, has a triangle, just an iron triangle hanging on it. And then he also produces a large healing potion, by the looks of it. He says, I would give these to you. Your friends have not seen how terrible I am. So I think that they might accept it willingly. But if you are going to... And you hear thunder. If you are going to tear him out of her,
I want to help you, but it needs to be your choice. If you take it. And he extends both of his hands to you, the pendant and the potion.
I'm gonna walk up to him. I'm gonna reach my hand out to the side of his face. Just slightly, comfortingly put it up against his cheek. Some people make mistakes. We must forgive the people who see the error of it. I know what it is to do horrible things. But you aren't a horrible person. She saw it in you. So do I. I'm going to take the healing potion and the amulet and say thank you for your kindness. I will save her. I will set her free.
Thank you.
I will tear that man limb from limb.
He just smiles through his tears, and you see that the clouds in his eyes have gone gray. And he says, "Tear him the fuck apart, for her and for Maskesh too."
At the mention of Maskesh's name, I choke back some more tears.
Well.
From one person on the path of the storm to another, you can bet as loud as thunder booms that man will pay for what he's done.
I believe you. Thank you. And he just quickly, like in a huff, just tears a door open and goes through it.
Can I like yell through the door real quick? You don't happen to have like a branch from that song tree, do you? It'd be really nice to have right now.
He's gone.
Damn it. Just gonna hold the amulet close to my chest.
We'll say that in the dreamscape you can attune to things very quickly.
Oh, cool. And yeah, what's it do?
When you put it on, you have resistance to psychic damage.
Ooh! You psychic.
It does require attunement, but
Yeah.
there you go. And there is a final door. Well, there's a final door, and then there might be another door, but the next door has the next door. This is the final door before you see your friends again. To just go ahead and spoil it.
Alright, yeah, I'll go through.
All right, I'm gonna turn off your. Well, I don't need to turn off your aura. I have a copy of your token on the next page. But you step through into what looks like just another one of these voids, but there are more staircases that are going different ways. And unlike in the first room, you can actually physically see them. And I don't remember what Nathaniel said, but Akka's the first one through, and you just hear Akka shout something, and you look up, and you can see him way above you. And then you watch as through other doors, Marcus and Merahim appear. And in front of each of you, at the end of your current staircases, there is another silver door. On yours, there is a doorknob on... There are 4 panels on each of the doors, and on each of them, there is a doorknob on a different panel. On yours, it is on the far right, the last section of the door. You get the sense that when you go through this room, you will all be together again. When you come through and you see your companions come through after, does Althea say anything?
Fucking hell, was that as emotional for you guys as it was for me?
And that's where we're going to leave solo Connor session. And I will be stopping the recording now.